So, good evening. So, today yung third meeting ng book club. So, di-discuss natin yung first part ng discussion sa law of non-contradiction. So, last time, tinapos natin yung Colombo tactic. So, we learned yung three uses nito. So, yung una, for gathering information. What do you mean by that? Pangalawa, yung reversing yung burden of, which is basically putting the burden of proof where it belongs. So how did you come to that conclusion? Kasi hindi naman pwede na sila yung magme-make ng claims tapos hindi natin ipapa-explain sa kanila why they believe what they believe. Tapos number 3, for making a point. So we use questions, leading questions para ma-control yung conversation papunta sa direction ng gusto. So ngayon, ang i-discuss natin specifically yung law of non-contradiction, and particularly yung minention ni Greg Koukl. So yung label na ginamit niya is formal and practical suicide. So as a disclaimer, most of course ng explanations ginamit ko ay galing sa book. So I'm not claiming anything special or new na galing sa mind ko. And ang goal natin dito is to help all of you guys be confident sa pag-share ng faith. So maging skillful. Ano natin. So let's start muna sa formal sense. So yung law of non-contradiction, basically, law of logic na nagsabi na yung contradictory statement cannot both be true at the same time and in the same sense. And yung formal suicide ayon kay Greg Koukl ay anything na nag-violate sa law of non-contradiction in a straightforward way. So, para malaman natin if suicidal ba yung isang view, we need to pay attention muna sa basic idea, premise, conviction, or claim nito. Then, we ask if ang claim ba ay nag-apply sa sarili niya. So, may conflict ba? Nag-live up ba siya sa sarili niyang standards? Kaya ba natin siya state sa form na A is the case and A is not the case. So, kumbaga, may contrary claims ba na ginagawa yung particular argument? So, if we can state it kasi in that way, na obviously mapapakita yung conflict, hindi na nami-meet yung sariling standards, then we can say na may suicide na na-commit dun sa view. So, of course, sabi ni Koukl, though this may be hassle at first, if i-practice daw natin to, mas magiging automatic siya for us. Kumbaga, pag may sabihin sa atin na argument, either speech or writing, makikita natin agad ano yung mali. Tapos, another way of looking at it then is yung exact same reasons ba in favoring this view ay nagdi-defeat din sa kanya. Para masabi natin na self. As in final step is to merely point yung contradiction, and we can best do this by asking a question. So for example, kapag sinabi ng isang relativist, there is no truth, we can ask, is that statement true? And so yung what we will do, we will show some examples na pinakita ni Greg Koukl sa formal suicide. Tapos after nito, we will give a list ng examples na he gave na nag-commit nun. Tapos ang gagawin is i-answer niyo to expose yung contradiction. So may activity rin. So let's start muna sa examples na pinakita ni Greg Koukl sa sarili niya. So una, let's start sa God doesn't take sides. So Koukl starts to say na yung reprimand na ito ay laging nag-come up every election. So may nakita raw siya once na full page ad sa Los Angeles Times na nag-lecture on one side ng political spectrum. Tapos yung assertion daw ay self-defeating. So ito yung conversation. Sabi, you think God is on your side, but you are wrong. God doesn't take sides. So sabi ni Koukl, let me ask you a question. In this disagreement we're having, on whether God takes sides, what do you think God's opinion is? So in reply sa kanya, I just told you, God is against taking sides. So nag-ask ulit si Koukl, right. So in our dispute, God would agree with you, not me. Tapos sabi sa kanya, that is right. So sabi niya, he would side with you on this issue. Then, I guess, God does take sides after all. So dito, may kita natin yung contradiction na si God ay hindi raw nag-take ng sides and that si God ay nag-take ng sides. So tandaan niyo, proposition A and proposition B, or hindi pala A and B, sorry. Basically, proposition A and proposition not A. So, taking sides, not taking sides. So, dahil dun, self-defeating siya. And of course, unfortunate dito, yung ad pa rin na yun ay nag-take na moral high ground politically sa culture in general. Tapos, next, let's move yung to err is human. So, yung common attack naman sa Bible is that men wrote the Bible. And dahil ang mga tao ay imperfect, then ang Bible ay flawed and hindi siya inspired by God. So dito, dapat natin tandaan na yung para ma-discover if suicidal ba yung statement is if yung exact same reasons to favor ang view ng isang tao would defeat their own reasons themselves. So, if ganun yung nangyari, self-refuting yung view. Yung presumption kasi is that yung man capable of error, and pag fact na nag-err ang tao, ay mag-apply ito sa bawat argument against inspiration. So, let's consider yung example ng conversation na binigay ni Koukl. Sabi, you think the Bible must be flawed because people make mistakes. So, sinabi yung statement to clarify, sabi, the response, yes, that's the way it seems to me. So, nag-ask si Koukl, I'm curious, why do you think you are an exception to that rule? So, yeah, what do you mean? Sabi niya, well, you don't seem to think you've made a mistake in your judgment sa Bible, but you're a flawed human being too. So, basically, tao siya, pero hindi siya nag-make ng mistake sa take niya sa Bible. So, yung reply kay Koukl, of course I am, but I didn't mean that people always make mistakes. So in response, sabi niya, if people don't always make mistakes though, you can't rule out the Bible just because people wrote it, can you? So ang comment ni Koukl basically is, hindi enough for people to dismiss the Bible simply by saying na human beings yung nagsulat. So of course, hindi ito nagpo-prove ng anything kasi hindi naman nag-follow na porket capable of error ang tao and they will always make mistakes. So at face value, self-refuting yung argument. Tapos si Koukl, he makes a further comment na si C.S. Lewis nag-cite ng related na example. So in response daw sa Freudian and Marxist claim na lahat ng thoughts natin either psychological or ideological ay tainted at their source. So yung sabi niya, I will read a quote. Sabi niya, quote, if they say that all thoughts are thus tainted, then, of course, we must remind them that Freudianism and Marxism are as much systems of thought as Christian theology. The Freudian and the Marxian are in the same boat with the rest of us and cannot criticize us from the outside. They have sawn off the branch they are sitting on. If, on the other hand, they say that the taint need not invalidate their thinking, then neither need it invalidate ours, in which case they have saved their own branch, but also saved ours along with it. End quote. So, dahil doon, sabi ni Koukl na yung statement na everyone's view is a product of his own prejudices or yung all your so-called facts are only beliefs na dictated ng cultural biases natin, nag-fail siya for the same reason. Kasi yung mga views mismo ay product lang din ng prejudice nila or ng cultural bias nila. So dahil dito, we cannot take them seriously sa sinasabi nila. Next, yung only science gives reliable truths. So yung modern slogan daw na it seems reasonable at first glance and marami raw ng mga tao na naniniwala na yung knowledge ay nagbigin and end up with the scientific method and and anything daw na hindi confirmed ng science ay mere opinion lang and hindi substantiated, baga ay belief lang siya. So yung tawag sa view na ito ay scientism. So pero of course lingid sa kaalaman ng mga tao ay ma-surprise sila na yung view pala na ito ay nag-commit suicide. So consider this dialogue. So sabi, di ako naniniwala sa religion. Bakit? Or bakit hindi? Sabi, walang scientific evidence for it. Then you shouldn't believe in science either. Bakit naman? Kasi wala ring scientific evidence for it. So si Koukl, he said muna when he gave this example na masyadong mabilis yung pag-move niya sa discussion. So, of course, magugulat yung tao. What do you mean na walang scientific evidence sa science, di ba? So, of course, mas mag-expand siya ng explanation niya para ma-appreciate yung ganung example. So, yung sabi niya, na-notice niya raw kasi muna is yung slogan na only science gives reliable truth. And ito raw yung statement about truth that purports to be true. So, sinasabi niya na yung statement na only science gives reliable truth ay nagpo-posture na true yung statement. So it includes itself sa re-refer nito. Based dito, Koukl realized na dahil wala namang scientific evidence na nag-prove na yung science ay ang only way to know truth, then ang view ay nag-self-destruct. So next time round na may mag-dismiss sa atin by saying na only science gives reliable truth, we simply ask them if we want to take their statement as fact or as an unsubstantiated opinion. Kasi if fact ito for them, then we can ask them, ano ba yung testable scientific evidence na nag-lead sa kanila sa conclusion na only science gives reliable truth? Or in other words, ano yung scientific evidence for the claim na science lang yung reliable truth? Yung sabi ni Koukl doon, ang claim kasi na yun ay hindi fact of science, but rather a philosophical na assertion tungkol sa science na hindi proven by any scientific method. Dahil dito, magiging unreliable yung kanilang claim based on their own approach. Okay. So, naalala ko dito yung principle ni David Hume at saka ni A.J. Ayer. So, yung kay Ayer yung tawag, principle of empirical verifiability. So basically, yung masasabi lang nila na true statements or statements na meaningful ay yung mga bagay na true by definition. For example, yung triangle. A triangle is something that is made up of three sides. Ganyan, true by definition. Another example is if may empirical evidence ka for it. So yun lang daw yung meaningful statements. Pero kung titignan mo, i-examine mo yung principle nila. Is their principle itself meaningful? Yung principle of empirical verifiability. Yung principle by truth by definition. Hindi. Tapos may empirical evidence ba for it? Hindi rin. It's philosophical. So yung standard nila for yung standard nila for saying na something is knowledge does not meet its own standard. So let's move na, no? So kakatapos lang natin mag-give ng examples ni Greg Koukl about formal suicide. So ngayon, I provided a list ng mga nag-commit ng suicide, kumbaga na statements. And ang role niya na ngayon, kasi discussion part na siya, is to give me questions. So yung sagot na ibibigay niya is in question form. And anong question sa tingin niyo exposes yung self-refuting nature ng bawat sentence or statements here? So paano niyo siya i-ask in question form to expose yung consistency? So you can either try, no?
Yung first one,
Sige.
there are no absolutes, but you're already saying that, yeah, exactly. Yung, is that an absolute truth?
Yeah. And so that perfectly exposes yung na nagko-contradict. Kasi yung pag-affirm niya na walang absolutes is expected na i-take mo siya as an absolute about absolutes. Yeah. Sige, next, who wants to say insight on?
How do you know that that is the truth if no one can know?
Yeah.
Tama ba?
Oh, I mean, although mas maganda kasi yung tama siya na of course if you can't know the truth about religion, so how do you know na true yung sinasabi? Although I think yung better or mas improvement siya if you can use yung very same phrase na ginamit. So for example, pag sinabi na no one can know any truth about religion, then how did you know the truth about religion? So parang sinasabi mo na truth about religion din. Yung sinasabi niya na no one can know any truth about. Gets ba?
Hindi. Well, parang no one can know any truth about religion. So how can one know what that truth is? Ganun ba? Tama ba yung understanding ko?
Tama naman yung sagot mo. Yung ano ko lang, yung sa phrasing to improve it. Paano ko ba bibigyan? Let me know if mas clear or hindi. So, no one can know any truth about religion. So, yung pagka-phrase niya, truth about religion. So, you ask, how did you know that truth about religion? So, basically, yung tinatry mo sabihin sa kanya, yung statement na no one can know any truth about religion is a truth claim about religion. So, kumbaga, kasama sa kiniklaim na truth about religion, yung walang truth about religion. So, if no one can know any truth about religion, paano niya nalaman na this is true, the truth about religion? So, basically, may contradiction na no one can know any truth about religion, pero I know this truth, this one truth about religion, that no one can know any truth about religion.
Okay. Gets.
Ayan. Yeah.
I get it. Thank you.
Baka maano lang, parang tongue twister yung dating. so siya. Sige, next. Who wants to try yung number 3?
Are you sure? Are you
So-
sure that you can't know anything for sure? Hindi ko rin alam pa.
Parang ano kasi siya pag iisipin mo. May pagka parang tongue twister kasi you're using the same words, parang mix up siya. Pero ganun talaga how you phrase it. So, meron bang ibang gusto mag-try dito? You can't know anything for sure.
Ako bro,
Sige.
never take, ito lang no? Or magbigay
Yung
ako.
pangatlo lang.
Never take anyone's advice on that issue. Sorry.
And then, sa ano pa lang tayo yung pangatlo?
Sorry.
You can't know anything.
You can't know anything for sure.
Hmm.
But you know something about anything. Tama ba? Like, you can't know anything for sure, but the claim that you can't know anything for sure is a form of knowledge about anything.
I mean, tama naman yan in statement form. Although dito kasi sa exercise natin, ang purpose is how do you expose it in question form?
Question form. Sige.
Oh,
You can't know anything for sure. And question is, are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? Yeah.
yeah. So, tama yun. So, are you sure about that? Other examples na pwede rin is, you can't know anything for sure. How did you know that for sure? So, that. Or pwede mo i-spell out yung that, imbes na sabihin mo lang yung that in general. So, how did you know for sure that you can't know anything for sure? Para mas maging, ano siya, explicit. Sige, next. Yung, ano, talking about God is meaningless. Any takers?
Then why are you talking about it?
Yeah, pwede, oo. Yung yung sa example na to, yung ano, another way of answering it is yung statement na to about God, ano ito. So, what does this mean then? Parang ganun. Kasi basically he is talking about God. So, tama yung sinabi mo. Itong next, you can know truth only through experience. May isa pa tayong exercise. So, pipigan utak at least. Or siguro, ano, to save time. Siguro yung dalawa, tas you can answer sagot. Tas I can answer ito through sa experience.
You can know truth only through experience. So is all of hindi ko alam. Yun. Paano kung
Ano yun?
kasi yung experience? Parang yun.
Yung ano dito, answer is, what experience taught you that rational truth about knowledge? So, basically, if only through experience, you're asking him for the standard niya, kung anong experience yung nagturo sa kanya ng principle. Yet at the same time, kaya sinabi na, what experience taught you that rational truth about knowledge? So, you're referring to something na, kumbaga, we are contemplating using pure reason, so hindi siya through experience, like yung sa rationalism, or a priori reason. So, ina-expose mo na may disconnect, like, what experience taught you that rational? Ito, next. Nakakatuwa sagutin kasi parang ang philosophy. Never take anyone's advice on that issue.
Ako.
Sige,
never take anyone's advice on that issue. So should I take your advice on this issue?
Yeah.
Pero ba't parang
Tama.
philosopher?
Hindi, kasi parang ano lang din. Parang binabara mo, ganun. Pero tama naman siya kasi sinasabi niya, never take anyone's advice and take anyone's advice. Kumbaga, ina-expect niya kasi na makinig ka sa kanya. Gets ba? Pero pag sinabi niyang never take anyone, kasama siya doon. Ito, last. I am the only one here who is not unique.
Anong intention nito? Hindi ko siya gets kung paano siya papasok sa isang argument.
Mm. Basically, kaya natin ginagawa tong exercise na to.
Hindi, sorry.
Ah,
I mean, yung statement na to, that I am the only one here who is not unique. Parang hindi ko lang siya ma-imagine in an argument. Parang, I mean, anong magiging context niya usually?
Actually, hindi naman necessarily yung examples kailangan to be part of an argument. Ang purpose lang talaga natin is to identify bakit siya contradicting.
Okay. Akala ko
Oo.
parang, siya, usually siya nangyayari sa isang argument. Okay. Sige, wait lang, mag-iisip ako.
Any takers? I'm the only one here who is not.
Para yung pagsabi niya kasi ng only one, parang unique na rin yun.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to make it a question, sorry.
Parang you're the only one?
Yeah. So you're the only one. Pwede, diba? So hindi raw siya unique, pero unique din siya. Ayan. Next, ito naman, ang gagawin natin sa exercise na to, i-state niyo yung example as A is the case and A is not the case. So, magbibigay ako ng example sa previous discussion natin para wala akong ibigay na free here. So, example ito. There are no absolutes. Pag i-explain ko siya na A is the case and A is not the case, it is, there are no absolutes, there are absolutes. So, no one can know any truths about religion. No one can know any truths about religion. We can know truths about religion. Ganun. A is the case, A is not. So, dito, ano yung nakikita niyong example nun? So, sasabihin niyo siya as A is the case, A is not.
Sorry, example.
Bigay pa ako example? Sige.
Sorry.
Ha?
Oo, yes.
Okay. Sige. For example nito, you can't know anything for sure. You can know something for sure.
Balik
There,
rin.
parang ganun. I-expose mo lang na yung proposition or claim niya or sentence is nagko-contradict. May dalawa siyang nagko-contradict. Don't take anyone's advice on that issue, but take my advice on that issue. Parang ganun. So dito, i-state mo lang siya. Is the case, is not the case.
So, I used to believe in reincarnations, but that was in a former life. So, I believe in reincarnation.
And
Yung second statement. I used to believe in reincarnation, so I believe in reincarnation. Parang ganun. Tama.
And then, naulit mo lang yung I believe in reincarnation. Yun dapat na ginawa mo, yung kabaligtaran yung sinabi mo. So, for example, I used to believe, ibig sabihin, dati siyang naniniwala sa incarnation. So I don't believe in reincarnation yung claim mo. Pero sabi niya, but that was in a former life. So, naniniwala pa rin siya sa reincarnation. Kasi
I do believe
sabi
in
niya, hindi siya naniniwala sa incarnation, pero sa past life. So, yung dyan, if i-state mo siya, I do not believe in reincarnation. I believe in reincarnation. Gets ba?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
is not the case. A is the case. Next. Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. Si, ano yun?
Nobody.
Sige. Game ano?
Nobody sa walang tao.
Hmm.
No, but why is it too crowded? Um, Nobody goes there anymore. It's too crowded. It's not crowded because nobody
It's not
goes there
crowded.
anymore. Tama ba? Nobody, it's
Uh,
crowded because nobody goes there anymore. Or mali?
ano siya? It's not crowded
Hmm,
kasi nobody goes there. It's not crowded. It's too
not
crowded.
crowded. Oh, okay. It's not
Yes.
crowded.
It's not crowded. It's too crowded. Okay, next. I wish I had an answer to that because I'm tired of answering that question.
Ako.
Sige.
I wish I had an answer to that because I'm tired of answering that question. You have an answer? Tama ba?
Hindi in question form na ngayon. Yung
Okay.
sagot na hinahanap ko from you is state mo siya as A is the case, A is not the case.
You have an answer? Tama ba? I wish I wish I had an answer to that because I'm tired of answering that question.
So tama yung sinabi mo na I have an answer to that question. Pero ano yung kasunod?
You have an
Sabi mo-
answer to that question.
Tapos,
So answer is
Negate mo lang.
ay negate.
hindi,
Ano ba?
i-state mo kasi siya as
Tama
A
ba?
is the case, A is not the case. So if
Okay.
yung first part ng answer mo is I have an answer to that question, ano yung pangalawa? Kumbaga, ano yung not the case? Yung kabaligtaran.
Wait, narito ako. Wait lang. I wish I had an answer to that because I'm tired of answering that
So
question. Then,
so yung claim niyan ng I wish I had an answer to that
yes.
is ini-imply niyan, di ba wala siyang sagot?
Yeah.
So yung A is the case is that I do not have an answer to that question or I do not have an answer to that. Yun yung A is the case. So anong A is not the case?
I do not have
Yun
an
yung
answer to
tanong
that.
ko. So ano?
I have an answer.
Hindi, yun yung una.
Okay.
Ayun. Oh, tama. So
Okay.
I do not have an answer to that question. I do know the answer to that question.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Yeah,
so
okay.
makita mo sa isang sentence, may dalawang claims siya na nagko-contradict na ginagawa. Ito, I really did not say everything I said.
Everything, but you didn't say everything.
Yeah. Yan, tama
Para
yung
ba siyang
sinabi.
para ba siyang parang interrogation? Hindi ko pa rin actually mag-gets eh. Para ba siyang interrogation? Parang ginawa mo ba o hindi mo ginawa? Parang ganun ba yung dating niya?
Hindi naman. In question form, yung kanina, yung tinatry mo lang kasi is to make the person aware ng contradiction niya, no? In question form. So, mas subtle na way kasi yun in exposing yung contradiction.
So-
Hindi naman siya interrogation kasi you're not expecting a specific answer na ito dapat. Ganun. Parang you're really menting the question to expose yung contradiction. Dito naman sa example na to, yung ginagawa mo, instead of using yung question, pinapakita mo na may dalawang contradicting claims siya na ginawa sa sentence na ginawa.
So, parang yung tunog niya sa Tagalog, ginawa mo to, tapos hindi mo to ginawa. Parang ano ba talaga? Parang ganun siya.
Parang yung sinasabi mo, ano ba talaga yun? Ano ba
Okay,
talaga
okay.
yung sinasabi
So,
mo? Kasi
parang
hindi naman pwede.
I really didn't say everything I said. You said everything and you didn't say everything. Parang ganon.
Yeah. So yun, may dalawang contradictory na po. So, of course, pag na-clarify mo, na-expose mo yun sa kanya, mas makaka-clarify na rin siya. Ano ba talaga yung ibig mong sabihin? Ito, favorite natin to kasi nakikita natin to sa mga libro. Next, this page is unintentionally left blank.
Pwede ko i-try again.
Sige.
So this page is unintentionally left blank. This page is intentionally left blank.
Oo.
Pero,
Yeah. So yun yung A is the case, A is not the case. Pwede din naman, kahit burahin mo yung unintentionally. Pwede mo lang sabihin, this page is blank, this page is not blank.
Okay. Yes.
Next, yung ano naman, you are in rare form as usual. Yeah. So, kay David pala, sabihin ko lang, yung ginagawa namin ngayon, exercise. So, may mga examples na provided. Tapos, pipili ka lang ng isa. Tapos, yung answer na hinahanap ko from you is, state mo lang siya as A is the case, A is not the case. So, for example, yung, I used to believe in reincarnation, but that was in a form. You state it as, I don't believe in reincarnation, I believe in reincarnation. So, nandun na tayo sa you are in rare form. So, ano mo siya state as A is the case, A is not the case. Ano guys, huwag kayong mahiya.
Try ko lang. You are in rare form. Yung A is the case and yung not A is you are not in rare form as usual. Tama ba?
Hindi, tanggalin mo na yung as usual.
Okay. You are not in rare form.
You are in rare form, you are not
In rare form.
Kasi yung una, pag sinabi mo rare, hindi laging ganun. You are in rare. Pero pag sinabi niyang as usual, lagi siyang in rare form, then hindi na talaga siya in rare form. So, you are in rare form.
Gets.
Ito, last. These terrorists have technology we don't even. Go out. Sige, go na.
Ulit.
Sige.
Wait lang. Saan na yun? Wait. Sorry. These terrorists have technology we don't even know about. So, these terrorists have technology we do know about.
Yeah. So, gano'n. Kasi, parang yung sinasabi dito, we know about things na we do not know about.
Yeah.
So, you know na may technology sila na natin alam.
Parang nag-create ka ng claim na hindi niya alam.
Oo.
Hindi niya alam.
Pero alam niya.
Pero alam mo. Yeah.
Ayun. So, ayun. Let's proceed, no? So, in summary, dito sa formal suicide, we learned na hindi natin kailangan to do all the work sa pag-deal with an argument or a challenge. So, minsan, yung claim ng kausap natin defeats itself. So, we learned na kahit yung view, kumbaga, if it directly violates yung law of non-contradiction, then it commits formal suicide. And if it commits formal suicide, then yung view na ito ay necessarily false. Hindi mo na kailangan mag-make ng elaborate refutation. If it contradicts itself, false na siya. Yeah. Maganda yung exercise na yun to help us na mas mapadali yung pag-refute. If ever we encounter challenges sa faith natin na nagko-commit ng formal suicide. So, now we are able to show kung ano yung formal suicide. Let's proceed naman sa practical suicide. So, ayan. Pag-start ako by defining practical suicide. No? So, we distinguish formal and practical suicide. So, if yung formal suicide ay any view na nag-violate sa law of non-contradiction in a straightforward way, or you can say it as A is the case, A is not the case. Yung practical suicide naman yung views na hindi naman in itself contradictory pag babasahin mo sa sentence. Hindi siya in itself incoherent, pero they fail yung pragmatic test. So basically, if i-apply natin yung sinabi nila, automatic na magkakaroon ng contradiction. So what we will do is, of course, mag-give ako ng examples ni grade 2, nag-show ng practical suicide. Tapos, we will discuss kung bakit nagiging contradiction ba when we apply a particular list of claims. So let's start dito sa condemning condemnation. So sa example ni Koukl, yung conversation example is, sabi raw ni Lee, I'm not a homosexual, but I think mali to condemn anybody for anything. Sabi ni Koukl, why are you condemning me then? Sabi sa kanya, what? I said, why are you condemning me if you think it's wrong to condemn people? So sabi ni Lee, I'm responding to the fact that a lot of Christians condemn people. Sabi ni Koukl, I understand. And it sounds na parang kinokondemn mo ako because I just condemned na yung homosexuality ay mali or homosexuality is wrong. Sabi ni Lee, yes, I am. You are supposed to love everybody. Sabi ni Koukl, wait a minute. Hindi ka nakikinig sa sarili mo. You just said na mali to condemn people. And now you admit na kinokondemn mo ako. So I'm asking, why are you doing the very same thing na you say it is wrong when I do it? Sabi sa kanya ni Lee, no, I'm not. Okay, let's put it this way. So na-realize na niya kasi mali. I'm not condemning you. I'm reprimanding you. Is that better? So sabi ni Koukl, then my comments about homosexuality are simple reprimands as well. And so makita mo na dito sa exchange, mali raw to condemn anybody for anything. And sinasabi niya yon kay Koukl na kinokondemn yung homosexuality. Pero if it's wrong to condemn anybody for anything, then bakit niya kinokondemn si Greg Koukl for condemning homosexuality? So basically, he's doing the very thing na pinagbabawal niya sa iba. So practical siya na suicide. So next, moral relativism self-destructs. So dito, sabi ni Koukl, is that yung mga moral relativists or people who deny universal and objective morality ay vulnerable sa practical suicide. Kapag may relativist kasi na magsasabi na wag mo i-force yung morality mo sa ibang tao, don't push it down people's truths. Yung question pabalik ni Koukl is, why not? So sasabihin ng relativist is, hindi pwede sabihin ng relativist na mali ito. Pagtatanungin, bakit hindi pwede i-force yung morality? Hindi open yung option na yun sa relativist. Kasi contradiction siya. It's like saying na walang moral rules, pero here is one. So if yung relativist would say na ang pag-force ng morality is wrong, then i-ask siya ni Koukl back, if you think it's wrong, then why are you doing it? Why are you pushing your morality on me right now? So For example, pag sinabi, don't push your religion down on people's, or don't push your view down people's throat. So sabi mo, why are you pushing your view down my throat? Parang ganun. So ang only way out lang for the relativist is for them to be consistent sa relativism nila. And this will make them say na pushing morality is wrong for me, but that's just my personal opinion and it has nothing to do with you. Please ignore me. Yun, if magiging consistent sila. Ganun yung relativism basically. So let me share a quote from C.S. Lewis. So, from your Christianity. So kinoto ni Koukl to drive yung point na yun earlier. So sabi sa quote, whenever you find a man who says he does not believe in a real right and wrong, you will find the same man going back on this a moment later. He may break his promise to you, but if you try breaking one to him, he will be complaining, it's not fair. A nation may say treaties do not matter, but then next minute, they spoil their case by saying that the particular treaty they want to break is an unfair one. But if there's no such thing as right and wrong, what is the difference between a fair treaty and an unfair one? End quote. Tapos si Koukl then, he quotes himself. Sabi niya, quote, a person can wax eloquent with you in a discussion on moral relativism, but he will complain when somebody cuts in front of him in line. He will object to the unfair treatment he gets at work and denounce injustice in the legal system. He will criticize crooked politicians who betray the public trust and condemn intolerant fundamentalists who force their moral views on others. End quote. So parang ito yung typical progressives na na-experience natin sa, especially sa UP. For example, they will say, morality is relative, walang objective morality, don't impose yung religion mo, we can do whatever we want. Yet at the same time, magagalit sila, sasabihin nila na, for example, huwag niya iboto si Marcos, diktador yan, si Duterte is fascist, blah, blah, blah. So may kita mo, sinasabi nila, morality is relative, pero objective din talaga. Kasi they expect you to follow yung kanilang mga tao na i-vote. So, of course, disclaimer lang, no, I'm not advocating for a particular political view. No? I'm just showing a contradiction. At least yun yung intention ko lang for this discussion. Kasi if consistent talaga sila na objective yung morality, then makikita mo na, okay, it makes sense, kaya ganito yung political views nila. Pero makikita mo, yun, may disconnect in what they claim to propagate. So going back, sabi ni Koukl, ito rin daw yung point ni Apostle Paul sa Romans 2:1 when he said na wala tayong excuse kahit sino raw na mag-pass ng judgment sa iba kasi we condemn ourselves when we judge others and we practice the same things. So yung argument ni Paul daw dito is that yung mga nag-set up ng sarili nilang morality ay faulted pa rin ng standards ng sarili nilang moral code. So practical suicide siya when we see it and we can point that out. So makita natin, even though the Bible is not specifically talking about love non-contradiction na as elaborate ng pag pinag-uusapan natin sa philosophy, makita natin na when you condemn others because of a certain standards, pinapractice mo ba yun? Parang gano'n. So, it points din sa discussion natin sa practical suicide. Then, lastly, sa Christian teachers. So, yung another example na kwento ni Koukl is yung sa radio broadcast niya. May mga kinokorek daw kasi siya ng theology ng mga televangelists. And immediately, nung ginawa niya yun, challenge siya ng isang caller and told him na hindi raw dapat siya nagko-correct ng Christian teachers publicly on the radio. So yung response ni Koukl, then bakit mo ka tumatawag to correct me publicly on my radio show? Diba? Contradiction kasi sinasabihan mo si Koukl not to correct Christian teachers publicly sa radio. Kasi Koukl, Christian teacher siya, sa radio, kinokorek mo publicly. So, hindi niya pinapractice yung very standard na sinasabi. Kaya siya nag-lead sa practical suicide. Parang na, tuloy ako. Siguro, before we discuss din yung mismong exercise, gusto ko mag-share ng example. I think na-share ko na to sa group. Ko lang ulit, i-highlight ko lang for discussion purposes yung practical suicide. Hanapin ko lang yung share ko sa discussion group sa GC. I think share ko siya sa GC. Yung discussion ko sa FB, sabi niya, even we are different kind of religion, but we still pray to one God. Sabi ko, how can you say that we are praying to one God if we have different conception of God? Muslims believe in Tawheed, which means that God is one being and one person. Christians believe in the Trinity, which means that God is one being, three persons. Hindus believe that God and creation are the same and distinct. Sabi niya, if you think that you are right, then follow what's on your mind. Don't mind us who believe in what we. Sabi ko sa kanya, I find this comment self-refuting. You claim that if I think that I am right, then I should just follow what is on my mind and not mind people like you who believe differently. You think that you are right in your belief, right? But why are you minding me by telling me not to mind people like you who believe differently? Why is it okay for you to mind others, but people like me can't? Isn't this a double standard? With that said, I do believe that I am right, and I think that should make me mind others. I can't just keep the truth to myself if I think that many people are lost without Christ in them. So, one example yun sa tactics, yung pag ipapractice natin siya. Mas madali mag-point when people commit either practical formal suicide. Although in this example natin, it's yung practical na conception. So let's go back and pasok na tayo sa exercise. So ang gagawin natin naman ngayon, kasi kailangan natin ma-answer, paano ba siya magiging contradiction if we apply yung specific statement provided? So, yung gagawin niyo lang ngayon, paano siya magiging contradiction if gagawin natin to, pag pinractice natin ito, sinabi. So, yun naman yung i-answer.
Like, parang tayo yung maging tayo maggawa ng claim na self-defeating.
And hindi ka gagawa ng terms. I-explain mo lang bakit siya contradicting if i-apply natin siya.
Yeah.
Pag ginawa mo tong do not judge, for example, if in-apply natin to sa buhay natin, kasi in-advise sa atin, sinabi natin, bakit siya magiging contradiction? Yun, tama si David. Pag do not judge is a judgment. So basically, if in-apply, kumbaga, if we try to apply this na wag mong judge, we made a specific judgment to begin with. So kaya siya contradict. So next, it's wrong to say that others are wrong. So if mali, nasabihin na mali yung ibang tao, if ipapractice natin to, bakit siya contradiction? Siguro iniisip ko if baka confusing yung pagka tinaas ko. If itong sinabi ng tao na to sa inyo, bakit siya contradicting, kumbaga? Like, finalo ba niya yung sarili ng standard? Bakit siya contradicting kung susundin yung advice? Or if ibibigay mo yung advice na to sa ibang tao, siguro that's a better way of phrasing. Ayun. Sabi ni David, it's wrong to say others are wrong is already saying they are. So, in a debate setting kasi, kunyari, you're talking about Christianity, you're sharing Christ, and may nasabi ka na yung ibang tao mali. Tapos biglang may nag-challenge sa'yo, sabi, it's wrong to say others are wrong. You can ask them, then why are you telling me that I am wrong? So if tama kasi na mali na sabihin na mali yung ibang tao, then dapat hindi niya sasabihin sa'yo na mali ka. So kinontradict mo yung sarili niya by telling that you are. Yun, so pag i-apply mo yung statement na yun na sinabi sa'yo, makikita mo na, ay, kinontradict niya yung sarili niyang standard na yun yung sa akin. Gets ba? Or magulo pa rin. Siguro sa third, mali to debate other people. Ano yun paano siya nagiging contradicting?
Kasi they are debating that it's wrong. Then if
Yes.
it's wrong to debate, then why is he or she debating?
Yan. So, totoo yung sabi ni Chris na kung mali kasi to debate other people, then bakit kanya dinidebate about debating other people? Parang kasama rin to sa mga ibang certain Christian leaders. Hindi ako mag-name drop. So, they will say na yung apologetics daw is not helpful for the church. Tapos, although they will make that claim, they will apply apologetics then by giving a defense bakit totoo yung view nila. Diba? So, parang yun din siya. Next. So, keep your spiritual opinions to yourself. Stop trying to change other people's religious views. Gusto mo ba mag-answer?
Oh, contradictory siya kasi this statement intends to change my religious views. Like, nag-i-impose din siya ng judgment. Nag-i-impose din siya ng very thing na ayaw niyang i-impose sa kanya.
Yes. So, tama yung sinabi ni Auno. Kasi, if, wag daw natin i-change yung view ng ibang tao. Yung ginagawa nila, change nila yung view natin. Kasi if magiging consistent sila, edi manahimik na lang sila and wag nila i-change yung view natin. Pero madaya, tayo lang yung dapat ma-change yung view ng ibang tao. Example nito, I think, if yung kay Greg Koukl, may example siya about a discussion between Jewish rabbis and Baptist pastors. Parang, if tama yung memory ko, fina-fault yung mga Baptist people for converting other people sa Christian faith nila. yung sabi sa kanila ng Jewish rabbis is dapat yung kino-convert lang nila ng mga tao is yung mga tao na wala pang spiritual views. May spiritual views na kasi yung mga Jewish people. So, bakit nila kailangan i-change yung view? So, contradicting siya kasi if yung i-change lang na view yung mga hindi spiritual people, bakit nila change yung view ng mga Baptist pastors na spiritual? Diba? Kumbaga, kailangan nila maging consistent sa Great Commission. To obey Christ is to preach the gospel everywhere, kahit kanino, spiritual man or make disciples of all church. Pero pinagbabawalan sila to spread yung sariling news. Hindi naman pwede yun. So, maganda na ma-expose siya to show na, hey, nagiging madaya kayo. Bakit kami bawal? Kayo pwede. And next, na mention ko na pala ito kanina, yung it's wrong to practice apologetics. I alluded to na pala dito kasi may iba nga nagsasabi na pangit yung apologetics, pero they do apologetics rin naman to denounce apologetics. Kasi yung apologetics, hindi lang naman siya Christian apologetics. May Islamic apologetics, may Jewish apologetics. Basically, it just means a defense of a certain view. So, when they try to explain bakit tama yung view nila, right, they are not defending Christianity, they are doing apologetics. So if it's wrong to practice it and you ask them why, as they will give their reasons. So they are basically doing something or practicing something na for them ay wrong. So contradiction siya. Ayun. Sabi ni parang yung pattern ng self-defeating na claims ay yung pag-impose ng exclusive truths nila sa iba na may exclusive truth claims. Ayun. Pag sabihin kasi nila na mali to impose exclusive truth claims, they are also imposing exclusive truth claims. Unavoidable reality kasi about truth. Truth is exclusive. Kumbaga, if something is true, everything contrary to it is false. So if it's true na meron akong iPhone, of course, anything contrary to that ay false. So kung may nag-make ng statement, meron akong BlackBerry, medyo luma, or meron akong Samsung, then false na yun. Of course, it's possible, sa example ko na I have both an iPhone and Samsung, if it's true na meron ako ng pareho. Pero kung wala, like isang phone yung talaga meron, then pag sinabi kong I have an iPhone, that's true. Then any other claims about ibang phone na meron ako, false na siya. Hindi pwedeng pareho to. Or ano bang mas magandang example? About existence ko. About being. If it's true that I exist, hindi pwede na it's true na I don't exist. It's either A or non-A. Hindi pwedeng both A and non-A.
Bro, add ko lang dun sa sinabi mo. Yung interesting na observation ko at maybe ito yung parang na-appreciate ko na value ng existence ng exclusive truth claims ay kahit even if it's not true yung claim, yung isang truth claim, sa truth claim nila, they can make it like parang they are free to make that claim, they are free to hold that claim, and anything na opposite dun ay wrong. Although sa kabilang truth claim naman, of course, mali din yung another truth claim because yung truth lang na hinahold nila, yun lang yung truth. Kaya fascinating na parang you are free to believe any truth claims regardless if regardless of your assessment, whether it's true or not. Nagko-correspond ba ito sa reality or not? Then, yeah, ganun. Para sa akin, very, may beauty siya. Parang,
And if nagko-correspond sa reality kasi isang truth claim, necessarily dapat hindi siya nagko-contradict, at least in itself. Of course, hindi naman porket hindi nagko-contradict in itself, matik totoo na siya in reality. Pero if it's something na totoo sa reality, dapat hindi siya nagko-contradict in itself. Next, wrong to shove your view down other people's throats. I think na-allude na natin to kanina. So I'll just answer it. So if i-apply kasi yung statement na mali to shove yung sa throats ng iba, so may violently nag-react sa'yo, nag-share ka about kay Christ, and very caring and loving naman yung tone mo. So bilang sinabi, it's wrong to shove your view down other people's throats. Contradiction siya kasi sa application niya, hindi niya pinractice yung sarili niya standards. So ginawa niya, shinove niya yung sarili niyang view sa truth mo. Kasi if it's true na mali to show yung view ng tao down people's throat, dapat manahimik na lang siya. Diba? Pero ini-impose niya yung view niya sa'yo. Yung gusto niya gawin mo, wag mo i-share yung Christianity mo sa iba, yung gospel, which is command ni God, mag-disobey ka. Pero siya, okay lang. Diba? Kumbaga, medyo may pagka-hypocritical siya kasi pinapractice niya yung very wag. Next, it's not loving to point out the flaws of others. Ayan, paano niya yung sasagutin? Medyo related rin yun sa answer. So, sinabi mo na mali yung isang tao for certain view. Tapos sinabi, di loving yung ginagawa mo. Yung pag-point ng flaw. Ngingiti siya ako. Nakikita na bakit siya nonsense.
ako bro, ako lang.
Sige, sige.
It's not loving to point out the flaws of others. Parang self-refuting siya kasi ina-assume niya na ako ay mali, I'm wrong, and pina-point out niya yung mali ko.
Yes.
Na ayaw niyang gawin sa kanya or other people.
Tama. So, sa Bible kasi makikita natin na hindi naman allergic yung Bible sa pag-point out ng mali. I mean, if magiging charitable tayo, may to some extent yung iba pag mag-rebuke sila, yung tone nila and is unloving. Diba? Or, kumbaga, kahit yung intention nila ay good, dahil sa method nila, may good reasons ka to think na unloving siya. So may merits naman to that kasi dapat yung approach natin is loving na hindi nila, kumbaga it will be easier for them to take yung rebuke natin. Yet, nevertheless, sa Bible, if titignan natin, hindi allergic yung Bible sa correction. Actually, in scripture, sabi, diba, is God-breathed, useful for teaching, correcting, rebuking, training in righteousness. So makikita natin, may correcting and rebuking. So it assumes na mali yung ibang tao. Yung sa mga, rin nila, yung standard for elders being able to refute yung mga tao na contrary sa sound doctrine or yung nagko-contradict. So ibig sabihin, hindi allergic yung Bible sa pagsabi na mali yung ibang tao. And oftentimes, yung Bible ina-expose bakit tayo mali, bakit tayo sinful, bakit natin hindi pina-follow yung word ni God. So doon pa lang, clear na hindi naman mali in itself or hindi naman unloving in itself yung pag-correct. Actually, it could be the loving thing too. Kasi yung person will no longer be bent doon sa wrong ways nila, mako-correct sila. So dito, you can expose this by saying, by asking, okay, sabi mo na hindi loving to point out yung flaw in others. So ito bang method ko by showing others are wrong? Is this a flaw of mine? Do you consider this na mali ako? No. If they say no, you can ask, so why are you telling me na it's not loving? Pero pag sabihin nila na it's your flaw, then why are you pointing out yung flaw ko na to? Kasi sabi mo, it's not loving to point out flaws of others. So, are you being unloving by doing this to me? May pagka-philosopher siya, pero nevertheless, it's important pa rin for us na to live by the tools and maging consistent. So we can point this out na itong tao na to na nagko-correct sa atin, they're being inconsistent. They're being unloving and consistent with first. False yung view nila. Hindi naman mali in itself mag-point. Ayan. I think I'll just answer this kasi related naman siya sa sinabi ko kanina. So nag-allude na tayo dito. We should always leave people alone. May nakausap din ako, maliban sa example na pinakita ko kanina, may atheist na nagsabi sa akin, I should give people their free will. Bakit ko daw dinedebate yung mga tao? So sabi ko sa kanya, bakit mo ako hindi binibigyan ng free will? Bakit mo ako dinedebate? Yung sabi ko sa kanya. So if we should always leave people alone, we can ask them, why are you not leaving me alone? Bakit di ka na lang manahimik? Diba? So, makikita natin, hindi nila pinapractice ng maayos yung standards nila. And maganda to ma-expose natin kasi minsan, may ina-impose sa atin na standards na wala sa lugar. And kung wala siya sa lugar, hindi naman tayo obliged to obey. Kung i-obey natin na standards, dapat based siya sa tools ng word ni God. It's consistent. Kumbaga pag pinractice siya, hindi siya maglilid dapat sa contradiction. So, and so in summary, yung formal suicide ay it is something that directly nag-violate sa law of non-contradiction sa statement nito. So we can see immediately na may dalawang proposition na nag-contradict. So A is the case, A is not the case. So if we can, if we can say it in that form, A is the case, A is not the case, directly na nakikita siya sa statement, that's formal suicide. Tapos yung practical suicide naman, according kay Koukl, ay hindi siya apparent at face value. So hindi siya mukhang contradicting sa sentence. Pero pag i-apply natin yung advice nila, ay makikita natin yung contradiction or makikita natin na hindi nila pinapractice agad what they are preaching. So tapos na tayo sa natin mismo discussion. Basahin ko lang yung ito. Sabi ni tama lang din pala na yung command sa atin to defend with gentleness and respect kasi yung idea pa lang ng contradiction ay offensive na sa kausap natin. Ayun. Important siya. We need to think din kasi na we are also psychological beings. Imagine nyo yung mga kaaway nyo or yung mga tao na na-affect kayo for whatever reason. Like, mayabang sila or narcissistic, ganyan, or baka basta you hate them for some reason. When they say something, ano yung nagiging attitude nyo when they say it? Parang ayaw nyo tanggapin yung view nila, di ba? Parang ayaw nyo na maging tama sila. So, if ma-offend natin yung tao, magiging kagalit because of our manner, kahit totoo yung sinasabi natin, hindi nila tatanggapin yun. Less likely nila tatanggapin. Kasi psychologically yun yung parang incentive nila. Kailangan maging tama sila. para hindi ka maging tama. You know? Of course, it's kind of immature pag-iisipin natin if a person is wise kasi kahit kagalit niya yung tao, they will learn from them. Kumbaga, they are able to evaluate. Ito yung pagiging personal ko sa tao na to and ito yung truths na di-distinguish. Better sana if gano'n. Pero hindi kasi lahat ng tao gano'n. So, if may gentleness and respect tayo, we are providing an environment na mas likely sila maniwala sa truth. And, of course, ultimately, kay God pa rin yung result. Pero yung ginagamit kasi ni God na means to save people is through yung manner natin ng pag-defend ng faith at yung cogency ng arguments natin. So, important pa rin yung human means. Kasi yun nga, God is a providential God. God uses ordinary means. Kaya maganda maging faith. So, now we can proceed na sa Q&A, no? Sige, tanong mo na.
Yung tanong ko, hindi ko alam maalala yung I think napag-usapan na dati sa previous meetings or baka hindi pa ako present nung time na yun. Pero paano mo masasabi yung difference between na legitimate na contradiction ng isang bagay versus yung isang paradox?
Ang gets. Yung law of non-contradiction kasi, ang sabi is yung truth claims na contradictory cannot both be true at the same time and in the same sense. So take note yung sa definition na same time and same sense. So let's take yung doctrine of the Trinity. Is it a contradiction or not? I would argue na yung Trinity ay hindi contradiction. Pero wag muna tayo sa argument. Yung sa Trinity lang. Sabi nila 1 and 3. Pag sasabihin mo, yung pag 1 yung isang bagay, hindi siya pwede maging 3. Pag 3 yung isang bagay, hindi siya pwede maging 1. Gets? Pero sabi, Trinity is 3 in 1. So in what sense is it 3 in 1? So let's go na sa argument. Ano ba yung definition ng Trinity? Trinity, ibig sabihin, there is one God na nag-exist and itong one God na to in being ay 3 persons. Hindi natin sinasabi he manifests himself as 3 persons, that will be modalism. Pero this one God eternally exists in 3 persons, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. So, are we saying God is one being and 3 beings? Or are we saying that God is one person and 3 persons? Hindi. If ang claim natin is si God ay one being and 3 beings, it's a contradiction. If we also claim that God is one person and 3 persons, there is a contradiction. Pero if we claim na God is one being in 3 persons, it's not a contradiction. Kasi, ibig sabihin, we claim na God is one in one sense, pero He is also 3 in another sense. We are not saying na God is one in one sense and 3 in the same sense. So, 1 in one sense, 3 in a different sense. So, one being. So may pagka-paradoxical siya, pero hindi siya contradiction. So, it's a mystery. It does not violate yung law of non-contradiction. So, yeah, mahaba yung sinabi ko. I hope na clear siya. Ganon din yung sa, kung titignan natin yung sa Tawhid. One God in being, one in person. So makita natin, hindi naman siya contradicting in itself when they say na there's one. So sa Trinity, hindi naman siya contradicting kasi one God pa rin siya. Hindi naman natin kiniklaim na may 3 gods. pero may 3 persons in that one. So if for it to be a true contradiction, dapat take note, same time, same sense. And nagko-contradict. So if iba yung sense, hindi siya contradiction. If same sense, contradiction siya. May questions pa ba or siguro further comments sa sinabi?
It seems na parang kahit parang complex yung problem sa sa problem ng ignorance sa yung consequences ng pag-impose ng exclusive truths. Such as yun nga, magkakaroon ng contradiction, maliban doon ay kasi ano siya, parang nagmamanifest din siya doon sa issues na we face, say sa abortion, same-sex marriage, and many other na issues na outside sa Christian circle community. So parang kahit yung mga AKA experts, parang I don't know kung ignorance ba sa kanila or maybe they just ignore it for whatever reasons. But they are willing to risk yung ganun to push yung kanilang exclusive treatment and legislate it. So, ano sa tingin mo, Bro Omar, ang magandang solution, long-term man siya or short-term?
Ang sa culture kasi, of course, wala naman tayong control sa ibang tao, no? The Bible is clear na ang problem ng humankind is not merely a lack of education. People mistakenly believe kasi na kailangan mo lang ma-educate yung tao and they will believe the truth. Pero Romans 1 is clear na people suppress the truth by their unrighteousness. So if they don't want to follow God in the first place, they want to live in their own sin. Kahit anong truth yung ibigay mo, they will have plenty of material to misinterpret. So for example, sa experience ko with atheists sa social media, if education lang yung problem, marami na sa kanila magbibilieve kasi it's reasonable to believe in something na rational, consistent, hindi contradictory. Pero kahit anong evidence na ibigay ko, tinutwist nila or they continue to misrepresent kahit kinore ko na ito yung tamang view, kahit I provide yung tamang sources, talagang parang tinotroll lang ako, like nakakapagod. Yun yung feeling. Pero dahil they don't really want to follow the evidence, hindi nila ginagawa. So, culturally, may mga tao na, for example, Sogi bill, same-sex marriage, abortion, they will, they will still advocate for those things. And actually, yung ginagawa pa nga nila, they try to package it in a way na mukha siyang the social justice thing to do or the right thing to do. When in fact, hindi talaga. Tas pag hindi ka agree, parang ikaw yung nag-advocate for injustice. So yun yung marketing strategy nila. So of course, okay lang to still fight for to educate people. That's still a good way to help convince people. No? For example, so Gibel, they will say, it's anti-discrimination. Sino bang, ikaw, are you for discrimination? Parang, hindi naman. It's for equal rights. Sa LGBT, hindi naman matatapakan yung rights mo. So that's how they package it. So you educate people na you need to show first na you are for them, na you are for equal rights, you believe na LGBTs should be respected and loved. ganyan, may equal rights. So, pakita mo na you are for that. Pero you need to explain. So, alin sa SOGI bill yung part na hindi ma-give ng equal rights? So, may mga specific sections doon. For example, na if yung LGBT will feel na bababa yung self-esteem nila, ganyan, counted na siya as discriminatory. So, it's a statement na very vague. Kasi, ano ba yung mga bagay na pwede bumaba yung self-esteem ng isang LGBT person? Kasi, basta bababa yung self-esteem nila, counted na as discriminatory. So, ibig sabihin, dahil vague siya, you need to point na hindi siya helpful. For example, ako, as a religious person, I am, kumbaga, I am of the conviction that the Bible is God's word. Everything that the Bible says is true and I must follow it. Yun yung conviction ko. And the Bible clearly states that homosexuality is a sin. So, when I preach na homosexuality is a sin, pwedeng ma-offend yung LGBT. They might think na lesser people sila, mababa yung self-esteem nila. So, if dahil lang sa sinabi ko na yun, bababa self-esteem nila, and the bill says, especially if maging law na, basta bababa yung self-esteem, discriminatory na siya, then pwede ako maging discriminatory just for believing in my own convictions. So, discriminatory, although it may seem discriminatory to them, in that sense, na-violate yung Bill of Rights, yung freedom ko to believe what I want, yung conviction ko, hindi ma-practice. So, pwede ako ma-force to not really share what the Bible is telling me. Kasi mapaparusahan ako. So, it's not really for equal rights in that sense. Another example, may part doon na if yung parents, let's say they discipline their children, tapos just because of their sexual orientation and gender identity. So, yung mga Christian parents na gusto lumaki yung anak nila in a Christian way, pwede maapektuhan just because yung child nila feels or thinks a certain way. So, pwede mo i-point out yung parenting ng parents, maapektuhan, hindi siya for equal rights in that sense. So, marami pang examples, no? So, these are some of the examples lang for the sake of discussion. So, kailangan nyo talaga basahin yung bill para you can go to specifics. Oy, ito yung bill, basahin natin together. Ito yung PDF, galing sa Senate or sa House. Ito yung specific section. Ito yung concern ko. I mean, valid naman yung concern nila na yung nanay or magulang pwedeng i-abuse yung child nila physically. No? Just because they are gay. Mali naman yun na parang aapihin yung child sa pag-discipline. May laws na tayo for it, yung violence against women and children. So if yun yung concern nila, we have already laws for it. Pero if ipapasa tong SOGI bill, tas ito yung specific na section, ito yung sinasabi, ito yung worries ko na matatapakan yung rights ng certain people.
Okay.
So you can argue. So that's the education side. But ang haba, no? Kasi mahirap din naman yung question. Yung ultimate na we need to focus on as Christians is to really follow God's command. And that is to make disciples of all nations. So that includes preaching the gospel to those who do not know Christ. Kasi ang hope natin is regeneration. If changed yung hearts ng tao to follow God, they have a new nature. They will likely follow God more. Kasi if yung laws natin, kahit baguhin natin, if hindi changed yung heart ng tao, yung corruption, yung mga certain bad things will continue to happen. Tapos part yun ng making disciples, hindi lang pag-preach ng gospel. Discipleship rin yun. Helping other people grow in their faith, in their knowledge, hindi yung pag-follow kay God. And if we do that, mas magiging magandang influence yung church. Kasi, of course, many people in their church hindi effective in terms of their witness before a watching world kasi hindi sila equipped intellectually or pwedeng yung moral na aspect nila hindi believable before the watching world. So, we need to step up on, and I think if makita nila yun, they will take us more seriously kasi mas magiging effective tayo as witnesses, and I think makatulong yun to make our country a better place. Ayun. So I think we focus on our calling as Christians. Take God more seriously sa comments.
Thanks, bro.
Meron akong question, pero siguro brief lang. Dito kasi ako na sa stuck na pagdating sa same-sex marriage na, na argument. So, they're arguing for civil union, which is just that they have rights of a couple. Pero, yun, parang they're trying to make this new term for the thing that they want, which is actually marriage. Tapos, ang medyo hiwalay siya dun sa usapan natin, nabanggit lang kasi yung same-sex marriage. So usually, dinadala ko siya sa people build something together. So usually, it's a family. Ngayon, parang in my mind, sige fine, like, okay, you have rights to decide for one another sa hospital, sa ari-arian, but you cannot have a child together with you. Tapos, kasi yun yung function ng isang married couple, di ba? Is building the simplest unit of the country. Tapos, yun na, parang stuck na ako dun. Like, how can you say that this person cannot, basically, parang napupunta na sa, like, how can a person not function as a parent to a child? Tapos, wala pa naman kasing masyadong research about children growing up with same-sex couples to disprove na hindi sila as healthy as children raised by the usual couple. Ayun lang. Siguro, how do you go in through that argument?
Ulitin ko lang no, Prince, yung question mo is more on yung how you will answer na parang hindi sila parang okay to be parents, parang ganun ba? Kasi they're of the same sex.
Oo. So they're arguing for civil union, which means that they could decide for each other. But I think kasi eventually mapupunta din yan sa having children together, like being legally the parents of a child. Mapupunta siya doon. So yun, parang doon ko lang usually nadadrive yung argument na you actually don't want civil union. You still want marriage. You're just giving it another name, and then eventually mapupunta din doon. And the reason why that cannot be done is because hindi naman designed ang bata to be raised by two same-sex people, right? Like, anything that is apart from how God designed it is meant to be, it's gonna turn out badly. And since ang point ko lang ay wala namang enough research kasi about children who grew up with same-sex couples kasi nagsa-start pa nga lang sila, 'di ba? So, yun na, parang wala na akong ammo, if that's the right term.
Gets. So, yung gusto mo ba malaman, like, ano yung mga pwede mong ammo?
Yeah, or how would you go about that conversation?
Yung sa specific kasi na na-mention mo about, like, okay ba for homosexual people to be parents? At least on the top of my head, hindi ko kasi siya kabisado, but napag-usapan kasi ito namin ni David before. Sa UP kasi sa bioethics, parang may discussion din kami about this. Tapos meron akong classmate na iniirapan ako sa Zoom about it. Basically, may sinite akong, I think, if I'm not mistaken, from PubMed or NIH. Parang we have list of research that show na from homosexual yung parents, hindi siya makakabuti for yung development ng child. So, babalikan kita on it pag makita ko, pwede ko isend sa'yo. Para at
Paano
least,
pag sinabi na like science is not absolute, it develops, blah, blah, blah. Parang the way it usually ends is parang, oh sige, like go ahead and see for yourself how it happens. Parang ganun siya napupunta. Kasi there's no parang very, very solid evidence that is convincing enough, I guess. Because even then, di ba, kunwari, like let's say, even if most of the people who are, most of the researchers who are knowledgeable about family and child development agree that it's best to have a feminine and masculine parent for a child. Pero di ba, like, no, napag-usapan natin dati that consensus doesn't necessarily mean truth.
yeah,
So,
gets. Okay. Yun naman, medyo weird lang sa akin kasi yung people from yung ganong camp, usually they will support yung view. For example, sa COVID, they will say follow the science, follow the experts, magpa-vaccinate kayo lahat, mga ganyan. Lockdown. So, for them, if may contrary sa narrative na yun na science, then they will say na ano na kagad, parang you're unscientific. So, biglang ngayon, pag about homosexuality yung issue, yung pet doctrine nila, they will say na ano na bigla, na science is not absolute. So, I think what I can, okay, let's take for granted na science is not absolute. So in this specific situation, if hindi science yung mga magiging basis natin, ano yung basis natin dapat for allowing homosexuals to marry? So at least for me, kasi yung burden should always be on the person who wants to re-engineer society. Kasi may certain norms tayo eh. Specific sa na yung children, kaya sinusupport ng government yung marriage kasi yung union ng husband and wife magkakreate ng child na sila yung magiging future generations. That's why nagtatribe yung society, yung country, dahil sa nakakreate ng union na yun na bata. That's why may tax benefits yung married people. Kasi yung state wants to encourage it. So ito, wala naman siyang nakakreate na bagong biological beings. So, ano yung magiging basis dapat? Of course, yung hindi lang naman merely pag-create ng bagong children yung sinusupport ng government. Gusto nila yung children maging stable adults, functional, hindi gumagawa ng krimen. Yun. So, if not science, so ano yung basis? I think that's something na they need to answer. Meron ka bang follow-up? Siguro mag-add ako, ano lang din, bala for praise. Although, ano lang naman to, in general, no? Yung specifics kasi, if manghihingi ka, we can discuss na lang sa PM siguro. Pero sa research, at least nung inaral ko to, yung kasal daw ng heterosexual couples yung kumbaga maayos na institution or relationship para maging okay yung mga children. So yung naging result, for example, mas mataas yung educational attainment ng mga bata from yung traditional marriage. Mas mataas yung ano bang term doon? Standard of living. Mas less likely sila maging poor. Mas mataas yung physical and emotional health. Mas mababa yung chance na gumawa ng crime. Mas mababa yung chance na magkaroon ng alcohol or drug abuse. Mas mataas na yung life nila is tama yung morality. Mas mababa yung chance na makaranas sila ng physical abuse. Ano ba? Mas mataas yung chance na nakatira sila sa bahay where they feel protected and supported. Tapos, mas mataas yung chance na magkaroon sila ng stable na family. So, of course, yun rin yung reasons why yung government is supporting yung marriage, yung traditional marriage. So, if babaguhin siya, let's say civil union, kasi marriage pa rin siya kahit iniba yung name eh. Same benefits, di ba? Pero yung mangyayari nun, magkakaroon ng less incentive yung people to be married traditionally. Kasi open na yung option na yun. So, yung mangyayari, less likely na yung tao will put themselves sa relationship na ito yung benefit. So mas less yung tao na mag-a-avail ng benefit makukuha sa institution na to, bakit kailangan ito yung tanggapin? Kumbaga, yung less ideal na pwede sila maka-experience ng less ideal na situation, the kids. So I think rin yung something na they need to explain. Tapos, ano pa bang magandang argument? Ito, yung House Bill kasi for civil union is House Bill 6595. So pwede nyo search yun. Hindi pa ako nakakita at least so far nung huli akong nag-search na may bagong version. Pero they cited Section 1, Article 3 ng Constitution. So yung basis nila for making the law is, sabi, no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law, nor shall any person be denied equal protection of the laws. So yun yung ginagamit nilang springboard to say na sa Philippines walang sufficient na movement na nagpo-provide ng basic civil rights sa people na hindi eligible. So example, yung LGBT community, so yung sexual orientation nila and who they love ay excluded na from entering sa isang protected or legally recognized na youth. So yung problem naman dito, what you can argue against it is they mischaracterize na yung LGBT ay excluded. Baga hindi raw strawman to say na yung LGBT community excluded from entering into legally recognized or protected union. So, i-explain ko, no? Kasi sa family code, restrict na only one man and one woman yung marriage. So, yung pag-restrict na yun, hindi naman yung nagbabiolate ng fundamental rights ng kahit sinong tao. So, and maliban doon, yung inviolable na social institution ng marriage, hindi siya nagpro-prohibit ng any homosexual person from marrying. Ang need lang nila gawin is they should just marry in the same way how everyone else sa Philippines have to marry. So if homosexual ka, you could marry as long as you marry someone of the opposite sex. So extended yung right na to equally sa lahat ng unmarried adults sa Philippines. So yung problem kasi sa LGBT community, they want to marry a person of the same sex, which is basically claiming a new right. You're claiming a new right na hindi available sa lahat ng tao sa society. Ito kasi, denied siya sa lahat ng tao sa bansa. So, dahil doon, hindi discriminate. So ako, bawal naman ako mag-marry ng anyone of the same sex. Kahit straight ako. Yun yan. So analogous to sa tao na nag-claim na gusto niya pakasalan yung sister niya. Tapos they will argue na the law is denying for me a basic right to marry. Pero invalid yung argument niya kasi wala naman sa society natin na may legal right na pakasalan yung sister niya. So lahat bawal pakasalan yung sister niya, lahat naman tayo bawal pakasalan yung same sex. So if lahat naman sa society ay bawal pakasalan yung sister, then hindi siya dinideny ng bansa ng bagay na hindi deny for everyone. So this means hindi valid yung pag-cite niya ng Constitution, to justify their case. And this means hindi pwede i-allow ito by logic kasi, of course, what will stop people? For example, if yung logic is kailangan ng new right for homosexuals na pinagbabawal naman sa lahat, then bakit mag-stop siya sa homosexuality? Then dapat pwede na payagan yung mga incest, bestiality. So, yun. Kailangan rin napakita yun. Tapos, ano pa ba? Si Dr. Gatdula, ano siya? Favorite ko siya na lawyer. Conservative siya na lawyer. Currently, dean siya ng UAN University siya. So, if you feel free to follow yung writings niya sa business world or buy his books. Kasi super, ano talaga siya, okay. Pero yung sabi niya, meron akong quote dito, sabi niya, those who are not doctors, not Filipinos, not qualified to drive are not bad people. They simply did not match a certain definition or requirement made by the government for a purpose. There is no discrimination here as the circumstances are different. So, as sabi rin niya, the benefits associated with marriage are designed specifically for that one man, one woman in comprehensive union ordered to procreation and family life. It's not that those who do not meet the definition of marriage are lesser or bad people, just that the benefits discussed as a whole were not designed for their particular situation. If certain benefits are the objective, then the remedy is to amend laws relating to that particular benefit rather than try to reconstruct marriage, which government is not capable and re-engineer Philippine society. So basically, if doktor ka, yung bibigyan lang naman ng valid license para maging doktor, yun papasa sa board exam ng doktor. Hindi naman sila discriminatory by not allowing other people to have the license. So in the same way, hindi naman porket hindi i-allow yung certain people to marry if discriminatory na sila or lesser people. Kailangan nila mag-adhere sa rules. So if yung reason nila is just yung specific benefits, hindi naman kailangan baguhin yung marriage. Yung benefits lang yung galawin nila. Let's say yung sa property. Kung gusto nila na pag namatay yung partner. Kasi here naman sa Philippines, kahit kumbaga hindi naman allowed yung same-sex marriage, nagkakasal naman na yung mga LGBT affirming churches. Gets ba? So in that sense, pinapayagan na siya. Pero hindi lang sa law. Hindi na, if benefits lang, yan, hindi na nila kailangan na baguhin yung doon. Kasi may social implications yun sa society. Kumbaga, kasi based on research, if yung social institution na traditional marriage yung nagbibigay ng best benefits for future children, bakit natin kailangan baguhin? Medyo scary yun, for sure. If they want to change it, they need to provide arguments na sa kanila yung burden sa issue bakit siya kailangan. Ano pa ba example? Ayan, another bala na pwede mo rin face mabigay, yung civil union violates yung Article 2, Section 12. So, ito yung state policies ng Constitution. So, basahin ko, no? Sabi, the state recognizes the sanctity of family life and shall protect and strengthen the family as a basic autonomous social institution. It shall equally protect the life of the mother and the life of the unborn from conception. The natural and primary right and duty of parents in the rearing of the youth for civic efficiency and the development of moral character shall receive the support of the government. So, yung family described there, kumbaga yung intention ng framers ng Constitution natin, yung family ay father, mother, and children. So, hindi naman sinabing mother, father. So, nagva-violate siya. So, bakit hindi natin dapat isupport? Parang yung mangyayari, if they really want to change it, kailangan i-change yung constitution. Hindi lang siya really may establish ng legislation sa legislative branch. I
Marami
don't
pa
know.
akong marami pa akong from the other side. Pero next time, feeling ko hahaba pa tayo.
Yeah.
Meron pa akong pang-rebut sa pang-rebut.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Actually,
Pero,
curious din ako dyan
yeah.
to help me ma-sharpen din skills ko to early. I think pag face-to-face na, ano yung kita invite, sana makapunta. Baka yung ibang pang-rebut mo, pwede mo share din. Si Au
Thank
pala, wait lang. May discussion pala dito sa chat. Basahin ko lang. Wait lang. Wala ako. Ayan. Sabi ni David, check mo yung work ni Dr. Walter kung on same-sex parenting. Ayun, solid yun. Siya yung may solid na research din. Para at least may mabigay kang hindi ka nagko-quote ng Bible, talagang specific sa discipline. Ayan. Tapos, nahanap ko kasi related sa napag-usapan na. Kasi sabi niya, may book na sinun si Katie Faust, Them Before Us, yung problems na may statistics din. Magandang book din siya to. I think although hindi ko pa nababasa, nalaman ko kasi nag-webinar kami once kay Katie. Katie was raised by same-sex couples. I think magandang yan to, no? I mean, personally, hindi ko pa siya nabasa, pero people kasi from yung camp na yun, they like yung lived experience. So, hindi lang merely about statistics. Kasi yung na-observe ko sa kanila, pag progressive or they will say na, hold hard facts. Hindi mo kasi alam yung plight nila, hindi mo na-experience your privilege. So, they will make the privileged argument. So, basically, that's genetic fallacy. Hindi naman porket privileged ka, automatically false yung sinasabi. So, yun yung logical fallacy na part. Pero, mas helpful pa rin if you have knowledge of people who have experienced yung isang bagay. Like, may same-sex parents siya, love niya yung parents niya, pero ito yung sinasabi niya contrary sa kumbaga sa agenda nila. I think makaka-add yun sa persuasion natin na makikita nila, ay, hindi pala homophobic to na yung sinasite lang yung sources ito. Fundamentalist Christians na binahampas ang Bible sa atin. So ito, galing from LGBT person, sabi. So, yeah. Meron ko bang questions?
Thank you for the reference.
Questions, added insights, for violent reactions kung na-offend kayo sa akin. Joke lang.
They're homophobic. Don't you care about the children?
Don't you care about the children, pero okay lang yung abortion. My body, my choice yun. Pero bawal yung my body, my choice. Dapat daw yung vaccination ay pag hindi ka vaccinated, bawal siya. MRT.
Okay na ako for tonight. Wala na akong questions. Thank you.
Yung iba, Steph, hindi pa yung share insights or questions. Okay. Sige, I'll assume the silence means we can call it a day.